Those of you are back, and today we're predicting one of the biggest games of the NFL season in general, let alone Week 18. Week 18 is here, the final week of the NFL season, and with it comes the biggest game, basically a playoff game, the Dolphins versus the Buffalo Bills. This game's taking place in Miami, and these teams already faced off earlier in the season. The game earlier in the season was in Buffalo, and the Buffalo Bills destroyed the Miami Dolphins with ease, winning 48-20. They dropped 48 points on the Miami Dolphins, ran up the score and everything, and they dominated. However, that was many weeks ago. In fact, 4. That was week 4 of the NFL season. October 1st. Think back to what you were doing October 1st. Things have changed. The Bills, since then, the Bills lost to the Patriots. Come on, bro. The Bills scored 14 points versus the Giants since then. The Bills almost lost to the Chargers. There's been a lot happening, all right? So we're going to predict who's winning this rematch. Because guess what? The winner of this game wins the AFC East. We're going to get into the prediction right now. So let's start off talking about the Buffalo Bills. The Bills, how have they been doing as of late? The Giants game, that was early in the season. So was the Patriots. A little drama, you know what I'm saying? Let's go back to when they lost to the Philadelphia Eagles. They lost to the Philadelphia Eagles in overtime a couple weeks ago, about 5-6 weeks ago in overtime, 37-34. They competed against a good team, but the Eagles, they've been trending downwards as of late, so that's hard to grasp, the significance of how good that team was. The Bills have a new offensive coordinator since they dropped 48 on the Miami Dolphins. They've had a rough season. They lost to the Broncos, lost to the Bengals, they lost to the Patriots. I mean, they've lost to a couple really bad teams, and then they've hung out with good teams. It's really weird. The defense really steps up against good teams. They followed up that loss to the Eagles with a win over the Chiefs, then a dominating win over the Cowboys. I'm not convinced that their offensive coordinator, though, is very good. That win over the Cowboys, they dropped 31 points, and they ran the ball all over the Cowboys' head. I'm pretty sure James Cook had like 4 touchdowns, I think. It was insane. James Cook had almost 200 yards, almost 3 or 4 touchdowns. It was a really dominant ground game. However, Josh Allen didn't have to throw the ball that game. Against the Miami Dolphins, I think the Dolphins can easily run up the score in a blink of an eye. They'll have to score points, and I'm not convinced the Bills can score 48 points against the Miami Dolphins again. So that's something to watch out for. Most recent 2 games, 24-22 win over the Chargers. The same Chargers that got 65 points dropped on them by the Las Vegas Raiders. Pretty weird. And then a 27-21 victory over the New England Patriots in Buffalo. Well, you're not going to be playing in Buffalo anymore. You're going to Miami, to the Miami Dolphins. Let's see how the Dolphins have been doing as of late. Dolphins, they've had a pretty solid season all around. They've won the games that they should, except for last week. So let's go back the last couple weeks, right? Dolphins beat the Commanders 45-15. The week before that, they beat the Jets 34-13. A lot of points. They lose to the Tennessee Titans 28-27. That game was kind of chaotic. Not really the Dolphins we know. 27 points, though, still kind of respectable. Against the Jets again. The Jets, who have a great defense. 30-0. Dominant victory. They're just running up the points. Then the Cowboys. Big game. Can the Dolphins beat good opponents is the real question here. They beat the Cowboys 22-20 with a last-second field goal. Solid victory by the Dolphins, but you would like to see them drop more points, right? Then they have a chance to prove it. They get to go to Baltimore, take down the 1 seed in the AFC. Can they beat the Baltimore Ravens, was everyone's question. No. The answer is no. The first quarter, things were close, I think, and then things got bad. Tua threw for 2 interceptions. Devon Achane had 100 yards rushing. That's really a bright spot. Tyreek Hill only had 6 catches. All right. Lamar Jackson, 5 passing touchdowns, 321 yards. Gus Edwards, 1 touchdown rushing. Zay Flowers had 3 catches, less than Tyreek Hill, but he still had 106 yards and a touchdown. I mean, really, not a great game if you're a Miami Dolphins fan. You don't want to be going from 56-14, whatever the score of that game was, to then have to take on the Buffalo Bills in an AFC East matchup. But they're heading back home, heading to Miami. Do they really want to lose the division in front of their fans? That's the real question. Also, something to note, the Buffalo Bills, if they win this game, they win the AFC East. And if they lose, they could be eliminated from the playoffs. There's a couple scenarios where the Bills lose and they're out of the playoffs. So for the Bills to make the playoffs, this has to happen. Bills win, they're in. They win, and they win the AFC East. Or the Steelers lose to the Baltimore Ravens backups. Ravens are playing their backups. Steelers are going try hard trying to get in the playoffs. I don't know if that's going to happen. Or Buffalo wins and makes the playoffs. But if they don't win, the Jaguars have to lose to the Titans. That's not happening either. Sorry. So really, I think if the Bills lose, they're out of the playoffs. Dolphins, if they lose, they're not out of the playoffs. But then they're 5, 6, 7 seed. They're probably they would be the 5 seed then. And then, well, actually, I guess it would depend if the Browns win, right? We have to see the tiebreaker there. But if the Dolphins lose, they're not going to be hosting as many home playoff games. And then imagine the locker room. You've lost to the Bills twice. And what if you see them again in the playoffs inevitably, right? I want to go with the Miami Dolphins. Everyone's going to be like, wow, the Dolphins just got clowned in Baltimore. I understand that. They need a rebound badly. I think the Bills still sneak into the playoffs with a loss somehow, some way. I'm not going to bet against the Bills not making the playoffs, and I hope the Bills do make the playoffs. Honestly, as an NFL fan, I would love the Bills to win this game because then we see the Bills and Dolphins in the playoffs again. Probably going to rematch again sometime, maybe in the playoffs, and we'd probably get a Bills versus Chiefs or Dolphins versus Chiefs playoff game. But I got to call it how I see it. The Dolphins offense is so potent. They had an off week, all right? Tyreek Hill, 6 catches, 70 yards. I don't know, man. I think it's going to be a little bit different this week. Give me the Miami Dolphins to beat the Buffalo Bills and retain the 2 seed in the AFC. That's a prediction. Comment your prediction down below. Smash the like button, smash the subscribe button. Peace out.